Hi there, welcome back to my channel. My name is Shelby and today I'm going to be talking about 10 books I have on my shelves that are super highly rated on Goodreads. So I went into my want to read owned books and kind of sorted it by rating and selected 10 that were towards the top and had close to at least 4-star average or higher than that. A lot of these have higher. And they've been on my shelves a while and I just need to read them, especially because they are so well liked. So none of them are in a particular order. I'll link them all down below as well as my Goodreads if you guys want to be friends. I would love to hear what you guys have been reading lately, and let's just hop right into it. The first book is The Secret Daughter by Kelly Rimmer. I have read one other book by her and loved it. I also have pre-ordered her historical fiction book that's coming out this year, so I need to get on finishing the ones that I have by her. This one says, as I saw my newborn baby's face for the first time, I tried desperately to capture her face in my mind, to stamp it into my eyelids as she was taken from me. I knew I might never see my daughter again. So it's about someone who gives their child up for adoption, and now 38 years later, someone finds out that they're adopted, and I'm guessing it is some kind of drama and really, really heartbreaking because the other book I read by her was so heartbreaking, so I assume this one will be equally as. And then another one is Paige Toon's The Last Piece of My Heart. I really want to read more of her books this year, and this one got really high ratings, over 4 stars, like 4.5 stars or something. And it says, when life feels like a puzzle, sometimes it's the small pieces that make up the bigger picture. A successful travel journalist, Bridget, has ambitions to turn her quirky relationship blog into a book, but then a different proposition catches her eye. Nicole Dupree died leaving behind a best-selling novel and an incomplete sequel. Tasked with finishing the book, Bridget is thankful to have a chance to show what she can do, even if it means relocating to Cornwall and answering to Nicole's grieving husband, Charlie. But as she gets to know the family Nicole left behind and the woman behind the words, Bridget's priorities begin to change. So it sounds really cute. I love her writing. She's funny. She also writes some more serious stuff as well, so I'm really looking forward to this one and want to get to it ASAP. And then one that I've had on a couple of TBRs, and I'm kind of embarrassed I haven't gotten to it. It's by Karen Slaughter, called The Good Daughter. This one sounds so good. It says, 2 girls are forced into the woods at gunpoint. One runs for her life, one is left behind. I think it's from their childhood, and now it's years later. And I assume it is gritty, it is serious, it's crazy, because that is Karen Slaughter's up her alley. So I'm so excited for this, and this one gets super highly rated, so I want to read it right now. And then one I've had on my shelves for 1 or 2 years is A Love Letter to Whiskey by Candy Steiner. I'm kind of bummed I didn't just do an ebook of this, because this edition, you can tell it's really grainy and it looks like someone just printed it on here, but that's okay. But it got really highly rated. It says, it's crazy how fast the buzz comes back after you've been sober for so long. Whiskey stood there on my doorstep just like he had 1 year before, except this time there was no rain, no anger, no wedding invitation. It was just us. It was just him, the old friend, the easy smile, the twisted solace wrapped in a glittering bottle. It was just me, the alcoholic, pretending like I didn't want to taste him, realizing too quickly that months of being clean didn't make me crave him any less. But we can't start here. No, to tell this story right, we need to go back. Back to the beginning, back to the very first drop. This is my love letter to whiskey. I only hope he reads it. This sounds amazing. Holy moly, it's about a guy named Whiskey that she fell in love with, and something happened, and now he's back on her doorstep. So that sounds great. And then Keep Her Safe by K.A. Tucker. Got above 4 stars, I believe. This is some kind of thriller. It is says, sexy, dark, and unnerving. Keep Her Safe is an addictive read with a tightly constructed plot woven from threads of romantic tension and unexpected twists. I caught myself holding my breath over and over. And it's about a man whose mom is a police officer, I believe, or dad, and he thinks he has a normal life. Then he learns there's some skeletons in the closet and some crazy stuff starts happening. So also sounds right up my alley. And then this one is an older book. I've had it on my shelves, gosh, for at least, ever since it was published, I think almost 10 years ago. So that is embarrassing, but I really want to read it. And it is The Secret Life of Cece Wilkes by Diane Chamberlain. And it says, she lived a lie to keep her daughter. And it says, an unsolved murder, a missing child, a lifetime of deception. And I think it goes from 1977 to present. And it says, in 1977, pregnant Genevieve Russell disappeared. 20 years later, her remains are discovered, and Timothy Gleason is charged with murder, but there is no sign of the unborn child. So that's crazy. That sounds amazing. I'm not sure if it's like a suspense or what, but I really want to read it, and it was a club pick back in the day. I think this book was published a long time ago. Let's see here. 2006. So I've had it for over 10 years. That is so embarrassing. I really need to read this. And then one that just came out, I believe, this year. I've read 3 of her books this past year. So it came out in 2018. I read 3 of her books. And I wanted to get kind of caught up with her newer releases before I read this one. And it is Good Luck with That by Kristen Higgins. And I've heard nothing but great things. This is about 3 girls, Emerson, Georgia, and Marley. They've been best friends since they met at a weight loss camp as teens. And then Emerson tragically dies, and she wants the other two to live their life to the fullest. So I assume it's kind of a hard-hitting but like really touching book. And I loved her other books, and she writes such great female relationships, and that's what I'm most excited for about this book. So can't wait to. Definitely will read it this year, because I assume she'll probably publish something else this year. So I want to read this before then. And then only 3 more books. This one my husband got me for my birthday. He had went to Target and he scanned all of them on Goodreads and figured out which ones I owned, and then bought the highest rating one there that he thought I would enjoy. And I thought that was the sweetest birthday gift he could do for me, and I still haven't read it, and it's been 2 months, so need to get on that. It's We Were the Lucky Ones by Georgia Hunter, and it is a World War II fiction book, and it's about a family, I'm guessing, that goes to an internment camp, and it has a heavy influence of music. So it's about jazz clubs in Paris, and it says it's an extraordinary story of love and hope in the face of one of the 20th century's darkest moments. So I'm sure this one's really sad, but also touching. So can't wait to read it and report back to my husband how I like it. And then this one, again, I've had on my shelves for at least 5 years since it came out. And that's so embarrassing. This is the only YA on my stack here, and it's by Rita Sepetys. I read Out of the Easy by her years ago and loved it, and this one is Salt to the Sea. So she writes YA historical fiction, and I really liked the other one set in Louisiana, so I really want to read this one. It says, the winter of 1945, 4 teenagers, 4 secrets, each one born of a different homeland, each one hunted and haunted by the tragedy, lies, and war. As thousands of desperate refugees flock to the coast in the midst of a Soviet advance, 4 paths converge, vying for passage abroad. The Wilhelm Gustloff, a ship that promises safety and freedom, yet not all promises can be kept. Inspired by the single greatest tragedy in maritime history, best-selling and award-winning author Rita Sepetys lifts the veil on a shockingly little-known casualty of World War II, an illuminating and life-affirming tale of heart and hope. That sounds amazing. I'm usually not a big YA reader, but I really like Rita Sepetys and I like historical fiction, so I think I'll like this, and this gets rated crazy good, like definitely above 4 stars. And then the very last book is one that I got because my sister-in-law recommended it. She was reading it, and it just came out, I think, in 2018, and she loved it. It is a chunk of a book, but it is called Beneath a Scarlet Sky, and this is about a guy who his parents want to save him during World War II, so they sign him up to be in the German army, even though he doesn't want anything to do with the Nazis. But then he realizes this is his chance to be a spy for the Allies, and that is exactly what he does. And it is based on a true story of a forgotten hero. So this sounds amazing, and it says it's the triumphant epic tale of one young man's incredible courage and resilience during one of history's darkest hours. So this one also sounds really good. I have quite a few historical fiction on here. I have a lot of really good ones on my shelves. I just don't read them as often. And these ones all get really good ratings. So let me know what you guys are wanting to read that you have on your shelves that you know will be good. And I will see you guys on my next one. Bye.